Hello everyone, welcome back to another Doctor Who collection update, showing you all the lovely Doctor Who merchandise I've picked up from when my last collection update ended in June to the end of July. So without further ado, let's dive into the lovely Doctor Who merch goodness. The first item I'm going to show for this collection update is Doctor Who magazine. We've got this lovely cover by Anthony Lamb of the Peter Cushing Daleks, celebrating the Dalek invasion of Earth, coming on Blu-ray in 4K restoration. Very stunning cover. I'd love this as a poster because it is very cool. One of my favourite Doctor Who magazine covers in a while, so this is very much sort of covering all the latest sort of Doctor Who stuff about what's happening with other actors, and a bit about Jason Fleming and his sort of dad's, Gordon Fleming, who directed the films, which is a very cool ad for us with Big Finish, and a bit about Nicky Wilson, with the centenary being the last, and a bit about the sort of third film, which would have had John Pertwee or Tom Baker in, which would have been very interesting to experience. There we go, there's a little what if poster if that actually happened. Doctor Who's Greatest Adventure. I mean, that would have been very cool because, you know, I'm a Pertwee fan, so more Pertwee goodness is always lovely. So yeah, very cool, and sort of celebrating 20 years of spare parts. And we've got a lovely bit of Ice Warrior artwork from Beyond War Games. Very cool. As Katie Manning playing the Empress sort of Ice Lord character, which is very cool. And then we've got advertisement for Beyond War Games. So yeah, Doctor Who magazine, very cool, very good issue. Continuing the theme of Peter Cushing, we have the Dalek Invasion of Earth 2150 AD, the 4K Blu-ray Steelbook. Now I've recently started up again the Steelbook series, where I go through the release order of the Steelbooks. Part 2's recently just come out, so you can check that out. I'll leave a link below to that, and Part 3 will be coming very soon. But yes, I've not had a chance to actually watch this film yet. I've seen the film before, obviously, and I really do enjoy this one. It's my favourite out of the two Peter Cushing films, but I've just not had any time to sit down and enjoy it, really. So yeah, it's be rather fitting to give this a watch now, since you know, Bernie Cribbins has sadly passed away. It'd be a nice little tribute to sort of watch. But yeah, very cool, very glad to have it. But yeah, looking forward to finally sitting down and watching it. So the next item is something very special, as you can tell by the box. It's something very exciting and different in terms of Doctor Who merchandise. It's a prop replica, and the prop replica is of this, the 11th Doctor's sonic screwdriver by Roboto Replicas, limited to 250. This is the second edition, and my goodness, I really do love this thing. This is something I've wanted ever since it first appeared on our screens, and seeing the leaked photos from Time of Angels and getting the first glimpse of it, I've just really wanted to get a proper version of this sonic screwdriver, and to get Roboto Replicas, who makes the props for the show. It's as close as you're going to get to getting the genuine Sonic as seen on screen. But yeah, and one of the main reasons I wanted to get this is because, of course, the good old flick. Oh, it's so satisfying. I'm not getting bored of that at all. So yeah, it's quite interesting that this has the character options sound chip in there. It's a bit quiet, but I guess because it's a prop replica, it doesn't really need the sound effects, to be honest, because the actual prop is silent. You know, I'm sorry if I'm ruining the magic for you, but it doesn't actually go. But yeah, it's cool. Very glad to have it. But yeah, it is very stunning. I love the sort of swirl on the emitter. It's really beautiful. I'd love to do a review on it, showcasing it more in detail. But it is a very hefty little thing, and out of all the Doctor Who merchandise I've got, this is definitely in the top 3. I just really adore it, and it's something I'm going to cherish because it is a beautiful thing, and it is my favourite Sonic, if I haven't said already. It just looks very scientific, and yeah, it is a piece of art. It is modern art. Moving on to the main bulk of this collection update is, of course, Big Finish. Yes, so we've got plenty of Big Finish to go through. Like I say, this is the main bit of the collection update because, you know, I can't stop buying Big Finish because, you know, we love stories and they love my bank account. So we have Brigadier Bambera Unit Brave New World Seabird 1. This is a tremendous set, very good. Some of the best unit stories Big Finish have done. Yeah, it is really captures that sort of 90s feel. The music, especially in episode 1 when Bambera's facing these sort of creatures. It feels very sort of action-packed 90s. The first story is just action-packed. It's just relentless. It's just boom, 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 action. You know, all guns blazing. Really, it's full of greatness, and you get a wonderful, creepy story in the third story. Yeah, very good stuff. Very strong start to this sort of new era of unit, and it's amazing that it's taken Big Finish this long to actually do a Bambera stuff, considering they did their own unit spin-off in the early 2000s. But yeah, very glad to have this. I may do a review of it in the future, but I really did enjoy Brave New World. Now, a Big Finish release I missed out on the last collection update was the Second Doctor Companion Chronicles Volume 3. This is supposedly going to be the last Companion Chronicle set in the Big Finish line. I guess over the years the Companion Chronicle range has sort of become redundant, sadly. I'm a big fan of the range. I've done a video doing some recommendations. I'll leave a link in the description below there to the video, and of course a little tab thing, so you can check out that if you want to know some recommendations for the Companion Chronicles. It's a really solid range, and I think over time now Big Finish have moved more to sort of full cast stuff. These sort of Companion Chronicles has sort of become that sort of spare part, really, to quote a Big Finish story loosely. But yeah, very, very good sort of cover art. I really do like the cover art for this. I've not finished listening to this. I've got a massive backlog of Big Finish to listen to. I've listened to the first story, which was alright, but Luke, who I do the streams with Big Finish fans and all manner of stuff, he started, I think he's finished listening to this now, and he said that, you know, it's a really good set, especially sort of the monk story and the second story, which is the Phantom Piper, which is a great character piece on Jamie. So hopefully I'll get around to finish listening to that eventually. The next release is a 7th Doctor set, which is Silver and Ice. This is the 7th Doctor's first box set in the 2022 relaunch, and it's a pretty solid set overall. I really did enjoy the Cyberman set. It feels very sort of season 24 done right. It's got that sort of colourful, sort of campy charm to it, which is wonderful. But it feels very 1970s in the first part. It feels very much like the Tyrants of Logic, which is great. And then you have the Ribos Inheritance, which is sort of Dragonfire meets Game of Thrones in a way. I will do a full review on this set in the future. But yeah, very solid start. It was great to hear the 7th Doctor back, because it's been a while since we've heard Sylvester McCoy. I think the last time we heard him was the last main story in sort of 2021, which was just a minute little bit, but I guess the last full 7th Doctor story was Grey Man of the Mountain back in December 2020. So it's good to have McCoy back in action on Big Finish, which is great. And of course, the next release we have the 4th Doctor, the 9. Me and Luke have done a stream on this. Again, I'll leave the links below to that, and of course the Big Finish fans playlist, so you can check out all the Big Finish fans where we discuss, you know, Big Finish. But yeah, this was a very, very good set. I think I prefer Solo to this set personally. I think those two stories evoke the 4th Doctor era more for me personally. The Dreams of Avarice, which is the one that features the 9, really solid story, and it's a story what you think doesn't really have momentum to carry 4 episodes, and sadly when you sort of get halfway through sort of part 3, you're like, yeah, this story doesn't have legs, but it has some great sort of comedic moments with the 4th Doctor relishing, and it has some great set sort of companions of the week, really. I think that's one thing that I really did enjoy about this. And then we have Shell Shock, which is my personal favourite of the set. Very much like No Man's Land, the 7th Doctor audio, but it's such a great idea and wonderful story, my favourite of the set. And then we have a little bonus which you can only get in this set, which is Peak Season, which is okay, it's alright, nothing too amazing, but it's a nice little freebie, I guess. But yeah, if you want to get Peak Season, then you'll have to pick up the 9, the complete set for that. The next Big Finish set is Classic Doctors New Monsters Volume 3. Yes, this is a much anticipated return since the 2017 Volume 2. It's great to have this sort of range back, because it's a nice gimmicky range, but it's wonderful, and it's lovely to have the 3rd Doctor included in this, because it shows that so much trust and faith Big Finish have in the recast, like Tim Terror and Sadie Miller. And spoilers, it's my favourite of the 4 stories. I will be doing a review on this set. That'll possibly be the next Big Finish review I do, but that'll be coming up hopefully during the weekend. But yeah, really did enjoy this set. Great set overall, actually. I really had a good time listening to that. The next bit of Big Finish is, again, a highly anticipated release. When the relaunch was first teased, we got a glimpse, and everyone was getting excited about this release, and it was Beyond War Games. Yes, where we see the Second Doctor not quite go to Earth just yet, as he's joined the CIA and becomes a bit of an agent for them, which is very interesting. Now, this is a very good set. I had a really good time with it. You know, I think that it's a clever way of doing it. The final beginning is marketed as a 4-parter, and it is a 4-parter technically, but it's about an hour long. The parts are very short, so you can easily breeze through it. I think, you know, the parts are like 14 to 16 minutes long, so it's a real quick listen, and a great sort of way to open up this box set. I did really have a good time listening to that. Then we have the Wrath of the Ice Warriors by Andrew Smith, which feels very much sort of what if the Second Doctor was in season 7. It's always great to have the Ice Warriors because they're one of my favourite monsters in Doctor Who, and Katie Manning voicing an Ice Warrior. What more do you want? I think that's one way of selling it. So yeah, very strong start for the Second Doctor in the relaunch, because the Second Doctor is a Doctor what has been neglected on Big Finish, sadly, so it's great that he finally has that sort of rejuvenation in the form of Michael Troughton, and he does a brilliant job capturing his father's character. Now, the last set of Big Finishes I'm going to show, I picked these up because we sadly lost David Warner. Well, these are the last Big Finishes I'm going to show physically. I did pick up a download as well, but yes, we sadly lost David Warner, which is really sort of heartbreaking because I really enjoy his Unbound Doctor, and he's, I mean, this might be a bit of a hot take, but I prefer his Doctor to some TV Doctors. I just have a real great time with him, and you know, I've met him, and he was a lovely man. And you know, he's such an integral part of Big Finish. You know, you'll listen to a Big Finish and you'll just hear him pop up for like the odd line, and you're like, oh, it's David Warner, that's nice. And the last sort of David Warner release I'm missing to keep up to date with the Unbound Doctor stuff was the Bernie Summerfield The Story So Far. So I picked up the bundle of these because this DVD is out of print, and this is the one that of course has David Warner in, and it was cheaper to buy the bundle than it was to buy this, because this goes for silly money on eBay. It's about 60 quid, and as much as I love David Warner, I don't really want to pay 60 quid for a Big Finish, so I bought the bundle. Yeah, so I'm very happy to have this because I sadly missed out on that. When I was getting around to ordering it, it was out of print. But yeah, I've got the complete sort of 20 years celebrating Bernie Summerfield. So we've got a younger Bernie, so we've got Braxitel, I think that's Jason, her husband. But yeah, it'd be good to listen to that. But the main reason I wanted to get this is, of course, for Volume 2, where we have the Draven. Now, this is the thing with the Bernie Summerfield range, is that she gets sort of dealt with sort of the lesser known Doctor Who monsters. Like, she had a story with the Monoids. She's got a story what makes sort of the Jigsaw canon with the K1 robot. You know, Bernice is very much a character where she sort of gets sort of the scraps monsters and sort of puts a new spin on them. So it'd be great to sort of hear the Empress of the Dravens, and of course we have the Valiard, which would be very cool, and then Angel of History has the Unbound Doctor, which I hear that he has a great monologue in and is one of his defining moments as the Unbound Doctor, so I'm very excited to give that one a listen. So yeah, rest in peace David Warner. That's the wrong way round. There we go. That is the Big Finish for this collection update. The final Big Finish I'm going to talk about isn't a physical release. It is a download only, and it is an audio novel, which is Emancipation of the Daleks by Jonathan Morris, featuring the 12th Doctor and Bill. This is a sort of a trilogy of stories. Each sort of part is part of this bigger trilogy within this audio novel, which is tremendous. I will be doing a review on this story because I feel like it deserves it, and I feel like the audio novels is a range that doesn't really get talked about online, so I want to, you know, spread the love. And as somebody who is a huge fan of Series 10 and the combo of the 12th Doctor and Bill, I had to pick it up, and I have to say that it is a brilliant story. It feels very 1960s, which fits the 12th Doctor very well, because Peter Capaldi is very much sort of the most new series Doctor, what feels like a classic Doctor. You know, it feels very sort of harkens back to sort of Dalek invasion of Earth. Yeah, and it's very much a nice sort of twist on Power of the Daleks, but the Daleks are the slaves this time. The humans are sort of the bad guys in a way. It's quite an interesting sort of twist and turn. I will be doing a full review on this story, but yeah, it's a tremendous story, and definitely worth your money, because it's 6 hours long and it will definitely keep you occupied. And that's maybe why I'm behind listening to Big Finish, because, you know, I've been listening to 6 hours of the wonderful Dan Starkey narrating this wonderful adventure. And Dan Starkey does a brilliant job capturing the 12th Doctor's voice and the sort of intonation and rhythm of Pilmaki. He's really captured it very well, and he's a wonderful audiobook reader. So I highly recommend Emancipation of the Daleks, of course, for review coming soon. So there we have it, that is my July Doctor Who collection update, mainly Big Finish. But yes, if you've enjoyed this collection update, then please do like and subscribe, because it really does help the channel out, and I'll see you next time for more Doctor Who related content in the near future. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.